Wait, what? Did you think I'd be Grian? No, it is I, Para. Okay then. Well, I hope you're actually here for me, because we are going to be finding what the actual odds for fishing an enchanted book with mending is in Minecraft, and how long on average it will take to get this book. Since I did maybe clickbait you with Grian a little, later on in the video we will actually take a look at how many times he fished until he got a mending book and decide if he's actually as unlucky as he says. But for now, let's jump into some numbers. First things first, let's take a look at a simple Minecraft fishing loot table. Let's copy and paste that into our absolutely stunning Excel sheet and we'll bam. There we go. The important thing here is for us to look at the odds for fishing up an enchanted book, which starts out at 0.8%, but for this video we'll be looking more at the odds when you have luck of the sea, which quickly climbs to 1.9%, more than doubling our odds. And all things considered, getting an enchanted book 150 times is not that bad. One little thing I do want to point out real quick is the odds of getting an ink sac. It is already the rarest pull for fishing at 0.1%, but with luck of the sea 3 it drops to 1 in 2,500, which is really funny. Okay, but what if you don't have luck of the sea 3? Well then, get to fishing. Honestly, for those of you who have fished a lot, it doesn't take that long to get a god rod. Just grab all your rods, stuff them in an anvil, and we'll bam, god rod. Now that we got that all sorted, we have a 1.9% chance of getting a book every time you fish. Now let's get to the fun stuff. So here we got an enchantment table. No, not that one. This one. This one is less fun, but it does show us the weights of all the enchantments. As simply as I can put it, the way that weights work for enchantments is that you have a number chance out of all the possible enchantments weights to get that enchantment. So say for a fishing rod, you can only get lure, luck of the sea, mending, and unbreaking on that rod. So we'd add up those weights to 11, and we can see that there's a 2 in 11 chance that the enchantment would be mending. Now books are a little more crazy because you can get every enchantment on this list from fishing, except for Swift Sneak and Soul Speed, which are only found in their own unique ways. So let's get rid of those. Now adding up all the weights, we get 135, meaning that the chance for getting mending, as it has the weight of 2, is 2 in 135, or a 1.48% chance. Now we can simply multiply that by the chance of fishing a book, and wait! We forgot something. That's the chance of getting a mending book. But can we get mending on a not mending book? Yes. Yes we can. Thanks to a little mechanic called bonus enchantments. Books pretty much have a 1 in 3 chance of having more than one enchantment, and that chance is halved for every one more enchantment on that book. I actually just made a video on bonus enchantments and how it's even possible to find a book with 26 enchantments on it. And let's just say it's very, very, very rare. Go check it out if you want to know more. Okay. Now for our purpose here, we are going to add up all these percentages of getting bonus enchantments, which ends up being around 38%, and increase our odds for getting mending by this amount, which comes out to 2.04%, actually increasing our odds from 1.48% by quite a bit. Okay, now it's time to get the odds for fishing a mending book. Unless, wait, a bonus enchantment can't be the same as the first enchantment, which can't be the same as the second enchantment, which can't be the same as the third enchantment. So if we got protection with a weight of 10, then we'd have 2 in 125 instead of 2 in 135 to get mending. But oh no, but there's an incompatible column. So if we got protection, then we could also get the other protection. So our odds would be 2 in 113. But also mending is not compatible with infinity, so we can't get mending anymore. So baby, but that no how wait what no not. Alright, I did a soft reboot and I'm back now. Okay, please don't ask me how I got this number, but instead of 2.04%, when we factor in enchantment compatibility, the odds increase to 2.086%. Before you question my integrity, I actually did the math, and it took way longer than I want to admit. Okay, this time for now, we can actually calculate the chances of fishing up a book with mending on it. So by multiplying the odds of a book and the odds for mending, we get approximately 0.04%, or a 1 in 2005. Wait a minute. Where do I know that number? Oh my god. Fishing a mending book has the same odds as fishing up an ink sac. That is actually absurd. So I guess, keep in mind if you ever fish up an ink sac, that could have been a mending book. Never forget that. Now that you have that on your mind, let's move on to how long fishing 2,500 items will take you. For this, we are going to assume that the fishing rod is enchanted with lure 2, since you are likely already 2,000 items deep into catching your mending. Typically, the time for a fish to appear takes a random time between 5 and 30 seconds after the bobber hits the water, but with each level of lure, this max weight decreases by 5. So we are dealing with something between -5 and 20 seconds per catch, which doesn't really make sense. Well, it actually turns out if the randomly generated number is less than 0, then a new random number is generated, so the interval is actually 0 to 20. I sometimes have to question the sanity of the man who coded this game. After this 0 to 20 second interval, the fish particle effects will appear, and then will take a random time between 1 and 4 seconds to reach your rod. Now if we take these numbers and come to an average, it takes on average 12.5 seconds per fish. Now to factor in the player's reaction time and the bob or flight time when casting, we will just come to a clean and simple 15 seconds per fish. So on average, how long will it take you to fish up a Mending? 15 seconds times 2,500 is 37,500 seconds, which comes down to 625 minutes, which is around 10.5 hours. So if you do want a Mending book, it might be best if you just go out and become a complete villager farm nerd. But if you don't want to be a villager nerd, I suggest you go out and start fishing. Okay, since you are all probably still watching for Grian, let's go and see how unlucky he might have gotten.
It's been so long. It's been so long. 6,838 fish caught. I'm gonna cry. It's so dumb.
In this clip, Grian kindly shows us how many fish he caught before getting Mending, which is a whopping 6,838. So I think it's fair to say that he got pretty unlucky when looking at a 1 in 2,500 chance. However, the thing that I find most impressive is that this man sat and fished for at least 28 hours in the first 5 episodes of one of the biggest Minecraft YouTube series of all time. And that, my friends, is beyond me.